While playing my contractually demanded hourly quota of the ironically named Need for Speed No Limits, a mobile game with only limits, I started imagining what a competent Need for Speed style game would look like in 2019. I mean, sure, having little to no control over my vehicle is fun and all, but what if I wanted to live a little and play an actual street racing game that's actually competent, and not this garbage? And you might be thinking, Riles, isn't there a Need for Speed game coming out this year, even though we don't even know what the name is yet? That could be good. And to that I say, given that most Need for Speed games since 2012 have been met with a resounding from the community. So instead of getting my hopes up and having them punched squarely in the face this fall, I decided to dive deep into the Need for Speed series to a game I have exclusively fond memories of, Need for Speed Most Wanted. Playing Most Wanted in 2019 is a little bit like magic. While there are some aspects of the game I remember vividly, like boss vehicle designs and slow motion jump scenes, there was so much more about this game that I hardly remembered, making it the perfect time to revisit it. And while you might be thinking this entire video is a nostalgia trip, I remember so little about this game that it's almost like playing it again for the first time. I promise you I'm trying to call this down the middle. I wouldn't lie and tell you this game was good without meaning it. Originally, I played the game on Xbox 360 and I was nervous that some of the performance quality or features would be removed to make it work on the original Xbox. After all, this was around the time EA started making their high-definition promises, a pact they still have yet to deliver on 13 years later. To an extent, I was right, but in no way is this a stripped-down port of the game. Your races might be sideswiped with a little bit of slowdown here and there, but nothing I saw during my playthrough screamed unplayable trash. In fact, everything about this game roars, I'm not an awful teenager, I promise, and you know what? It's right. Almost everything about this game holds up exceedingly well, from the absolute corny cutscenes to the driving. Need for Speed Most Wanted's career mode, an odd choice in name considering street racing comes with no dental coverage, drops you right into the action, putting you in the middle of a heated street race between yourself and the dreaded Razor Callahan. I get that the name Razor is intimidating, but why use your last name?
First I'm gonna take your ride, then I'm gonna take your girl. Get ready for that.
Did his mom actually name him Razor? Did she name him that in hopes of like, one day my boy will grow up to be an excellent street racer who doesn't know what 911 is?
Yeah, give me the police.
Anyway, you and Razor are racing for pink slips, meaning the winner of the race takes home both cars. But uh-oh.
How's your car running?
Paper.
You've been set up and your car breaks down in the middle of the race. You lose and you're left stranded until Detective Cross, the anti-street racing police officer who wants to put a damper on all your fun, picks you up and books you on street racing charges. Good thing your car was stolen because all your charges are dropped since you can't really arrest somebody for street racing if they're standing in the road. While you're recovering from the trial, you get word from your girlfriend/mentor Mia that Razor has used your car to work his way up the blacklist, a list of the 15 most notorious racers in the city. Your goal from then on out is to take down all 14 drivers standing between you and Razor. What I really like most about this game is that it does the Mega Man X thing that Ego Raptor mentions in his video about Mega Man X, where you see Zero at the beginning and get a look at all of the potential you have to become a beast, but instead of just making you look at Zero, Most Wanted gives you the superpowers for the first half hour of the game and you feel unstoppable. Then your car gets taken from you and you have a reason to crawl up the ladder and get it back. You get that taste of speed and it's all you need to get hooked. The cutscenes that explain the story in Need for Speed Most Wanted put an end to the "are video games art" debate, because each movie is superbly crafted to be the most excellent garbage ever produced. They are probably why the bulk of the plot is revealed to you through text messages brought to you by, you guessed it, Singular. They must have spent their last few bucks to be in this game, proving that the only way to truly raise the bar is to go out of business. Dean McKenzie, the actor who plays Sergeant Cross, puts on a great role. Every other actor, on the other hand, definitely found a new profession after rap. The editing deserves an award. Every dramatic car door slam is repeated twice to emphasize just how frustrated everyone is. At first I thought it was a coincidental accident in editing, but nope, twice, every single time, without fail. It's so wildly dramatic.
When he's through with you, I never want to see your face again.
After watching the various peaks in cinematic and video game history, you grab the cheapest rolling piece of garbage you can find and set out to rebuild your name and crawl up the blacklist. Along your journey to becoming the most wanted street racer, you take down memorable opponents such as friend who gets mad when you try to take a picture of him while he's on the phone, coffee shop hipster, and oh hey look, they got David Arquette. Don't get too cocky just yet. Each of these street racer employs unique strategies to beat you. For instance, Vic, the third driver you face, handcuffs himself to his steering wheel to show you how much his car means to him and how superior his driving is. I'm sure that extra hunk of metal on his hand only increases... Oh, never mind. And hey, Kazi, you just launched yourself out of a shopping mall like a grandma on Black Friday with a bunch of cops on your tail. You want to take care of that first before we race? It's cool with me, I don't have anywhere else to be. While I did run a poll on Twitter to see if I should spoil what happens in the story, I decided I'm not going to do that. You should definitely play this game for yourself because the corniness and fun of the story really needs to be experienced firsthand to get the full effect of just how perfect this trash is. In order to work your way up the blacklist, you first have to complete a list of required challenges ranging from sprints and circuit races to meeting pursuit milestones and raising your bounty level in police chases. Racing challenges come in the form of circuit races, sprints, drag races, and a new time trial mode called Tollbooth Races. These essentially have you race against the clock as you make your way through different toll booths and try not to run out of time. With the heavy reliance on driving in a driving game, the mechanics have to be solid and fun. I'm so happy to say that after 14 years, driving in Most Wanted is sublime. It's like someone bottled this game and aged it 14 years because it only got finer with age. Cars feel heavy and substantial, yet vary depending on the cars you drive and the upgrades you have equipped. Cars like the Porsche Cayman S feel agile and hug the asphalt around turns, while muscle cars are a bit more slippery. And the speed, oh my god, the sense of speed. And if that's not enough for you, your car emits the patented speed lines that show you're breaking the air around you. Now I know what Lightning McQueen meant when he said, "Boy am I speed," or whatever the line was. What was the line? Oh, I am speed. Got it. And here's a little strategy for you. As soon as the game starts, hold down the right trigger, and then what you're going to want to do is not let it go for 15 hours while you complete the game. The bounty system is one of the most important hooks of the game and an unbelievably fun twist on police chases. As you win more and more races, the cops take more and more of an interest in stopping you. As you cause mayhem by driving off-road, speeding, taking out cop cars, and destroying the world, the police force starts throwing more and more obstacles between you and the sweet taste of freedom. What starts off as simple police cars turns into helicopters, roadblocks, and spike strips until Sergeant Cross himself gets sick of the incompetence and goes after you himself in his Corvette. The longer you avoid them, the more heat your car gets. As the heat starts to rise, your car becomes a major target for the police, and you might want to drop your car off at one of your safe houses and switch to a new one while the heat dies down. What makes pursuits even more fun are the combos and multipliers you can string together by improvising on the world around you with these things called pursuit breakers, or environmental objects you crash into that take out cops and unofficially other racers, as I found pretty effective in some of these races. You can really get a ton of bounty from a single pursuit, but you'll constantly question whether or not you should try to get away or keep leading the police on a goose chase in the name of more bounty. Driving into a roadblock and launching a cop car into the atmosphere is one of life's finest joys, and wanting to keep doing that is why I got busted so many times and got so many cars impounded. After winning enough races and causing enough mayhem, you can challenge the blacklist drivers to a couple of races. Winning these events not only moves you up the blacklist, but it also lets you select favors from the racers you beat. There are always 3 random options out of the 6 available favors that you can get, ranging from cash to your opponent's pink slip. Every single time I took the gamble for the pink slip, proving that the events that led up to the loot box-ellipse started with EA in 2005. I also never got what I wanted, which sounds a whole lot like every single loot box I've ever opened. But every now and then I'd get the car I wanted, and it would make it all worthwhile. Fortunately, I got lucky when I beat Izzy and took her car. Driving her car is like a cheat code on wheels. Because you drive so fast, racers can never pass you. Police can't catch you. The police caught me. After returning to this game after so long, I am in awe at how well this game has held up. Slap a new coat of paint on this classic and get it on Switch right now and it will still be in the top 10 racing games of the decade. I kid you not. There is so much I could talk about that just doesn't fit into this video. like an entire challenge mode that you can conquer separate from the career mode, the fact that nitrous isn't a limited tool you can use in a race, but instead recharges as you drive faster like your car's AC on a hot day, but way cooler. The fact that the city is varied, fully realized, it's a real environment to drive around in that's memorable. I mean, how many other games do you know that you can drive around on a golf course and a baseball stadium? And how many on top of that let you use signs and other parts of those places to take out police officers? Not many, I can tell you that. If you love racing games as much as I do, and street racers more specifically, Need for Speed Most Wanted is an absolute must-play that I will continually recommend until we get a new competent street racer that can actually compete with it. And by the way things are going with EA and Ghost, it seems like it's going to be a while before we actually get something that even gets close to the greatness that this game was. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, why don't you slap that like button right on the cheek and punch that subscribe button right in the gut. I'll be back next week with a new video, and until then, one love, two Takis. Oh, why do you people watch me? I'm such a loser. God.